Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome to fourth quarter. We are back once again, where this is a sports show dedicated to you guys and us because we're the fans. So, from our perspective of what's going on, our ideas, our views of all the events that are happening in sports today. And you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, Amazon. I think all of them. All of them, guys. Anywhere you get podcasts, look for fourth quarter. You'll find it. Also, we're here live on YouTube every Tuesday. We thank everybody for joining and always listen. Mo will be joining us later. Craig, what's going on, man? A lot going on in the sports world.
Yeah, man, what's up? What's up? Oh shoot.
It's a lot going on, man.
Yeah, it's just getting to what is it, week 10? So we getting to that playoff push. So
Hey, week 10. That playoff push is we're going. I mean, it's we got some must wins in here. There's been some crazy upsets. Uh, this time of year, it's these wins and losses can matter, especially with the tiebreakers. But we'll get to that. Of course, when the season goes on. But Craig, right now, the Clippers are on 4 since the James Harden trade. Now, as we all know, the NBA season is 82 games. So, let me fix my. There we go. So, let me ask you this: is there concern in LA?
I mean, I think it's concerned for both LA teams, but more for this team specifically, definitely because they just don't have the chemistry. And this is what I was talking about, I guess, weeks ago when the trade happened or whatever. If they can develop,
Yeah,
they can develop chemistry, and it doesn't seem like they have chemistry right now. Maybe I don't know, a couple months down the road, they might have some. It took the Heat a little while for them to when they got LeBron and Chris Bosh and they tried to figure out how to work for a little while. I think they started out, I don't know, 11-11 or 9-8 or whatever it was. They started out pretty bad, and
yeah,
then they figured it out, and then eventually they made it to the finals, but they lost, but they got there in their first year together. So I'm not saying the Clippers are going to go to the finals, but I think they have a opportunity to make something out of nothing, because I think a lot of people are starting to doubt them a little bit and saying the trade was bad, and then they gave up too much, and now they're not going to have any picks for whenever those picks kick in years from now. But that James Harden is not cohesive with this team, so they have an opportunity to shut off people up who are doubting them right now and who are jumping off the wagon, I guess. But I'm still. I think they can still make something out of nothing. It just depends on how quickly they can coexist or try to make everything work with the chemistry, because that's the most important thing, because there's only one basketball, but you got four people who have been like the go-to guy for their team at some point in time, the main guy. And Kawhi's numbers don't seem like, I mean, and you got to know, when you have four all-star caliber players on your team, your numbers aren't going to be 20 like you normally have. You normally average like 28 points a game. You're probably not going to get nowhere near 28 points a game. I mean, you might get like 22 or something like that. I think Paul George is leading the team in scoring like 22, around that area. I think Kawhi is only getting like 18 at this point.
yeah.
So I mean, you have to make sacrifices to make this work. Everybody should know that. And I mean, I'm assuming that they're gonna be able to figure it out, because these are all big time professional players. Those games that they lost, 3 of them were on the road, and they came home. They lost to the Grizzlies. I mean, they shouldn't have lost to the Grizzlies just because it's. I mean, they've been playing pretty terribly. Now they got Dallas, or excuse me, now they got Denver coming up on the road. tonight, actually. So that's going to be a tough one because Denver's they have the best record in the West, or tied for the best record in the West. It's just not going to be easy. Right now, they're 3-6. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just trying to figure out how to make one basketball go into 4 people, pretty much. And it's not always going to be an easy task. And I can't remember the last time there were 4 superstars or 4 like all-star type players on the same team since probably the Lakers. But they had Malone and Peyton to go with Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
That's all that. Well, I guess you could consider the Warriors, obviously. But that team was already like a winning. They already had won 73 games the year before, so they already knew how to win. They already had a championship under the belt. The Clippers haven't won anything ever, so it's not like you're going to a winning culture where there's already that chemistry and there's already that winning type of mentality there. It's I mean, only person that's really won anything is Kawhi, and he's always hurt and he's whatever the case may be. But
yeah,
it's going to be tough, man. But I think they can probably make something work. At worst, I think they can make the play-in.
What's the okay? That's at worst. What's the best?
At this point, maybe they can get the 6th seed if they can figure out how to group up with each other and turn everything around. I think there's a possibility that they can make the 6th seed, which will put them right outside the play-in. But I don't know. I'm expecting injuries to happen.
Yeah.
And maybe when injuries happen, the team it'll be more focused on one person because it doesn't seem like people are trying to step on each other's toes at this point, kind of like the Kyrie did when he came in last year and he was playing with Luka. He didn't want to step on his toes or try to whatever, shake up anything, and then they started losing games. And this year they started out, now they're 8-2. Luka's clearly the main guy. Kyrie's playing second fiddle, but he's like a complimentary piece this year. Maybe it's going to take a year if they can stay together. I'm not sure. But it might take an injury or 2, and then you can start to focus on if James Harden is healthy. Now he's going to get he's going to get more shots. He's going to get his confidence back up. So then when those other guys come back, maybe it'll be an easier transition for those guys to mesh together. But it's not a good start so far. 0-4.
Ooh, 0-4. Shout out to my man Earl. He said James Harden bringing the system to another system is like combining Linux with Windows OS. The computer is going to crash. Shout out Earl. Thank you for tuning in.
It's not a good look so far.
Kobe said this a while ago, and I don't think nobody took his comments with a grain of salt. I think everybody was like, Kobe knows what he's talking about, but Harden is winning in Houston. He specifically said that the type of style of basketball that James Harden plays is not conducive to winning championships. Now, this is when he was in Houston. Fast forward now, the clip is resurfacing because the clip is resurfacing because he's not winning. And it just looks crazy that he tries to win with he tries to win with Chris Paul, didn't work out. Dwight Howard didn't work out. Russell Westbrook, it didn't work out. AD and Kyrie, he didn't give it a chance. I don't know why. I thought that it would have been. I thought it would have been a juggernaut. But obviously it wasn't. And with Embiid, I thought that they were going to win with Embiid. But this clearly has to be a James Harden issue, right? Let's say Phoenix wins it this year, Craig. right? KD and Phoenix wins this year. Even though I'm a Lakers fan, I think the Lakers going to win. Let's just say Phoenix wins it. KD gets his first championship without Steph. James Harden had a chance to win with him in Brooklyn. Didn't work out. Let's say this. Let's say Philadelphia is playing excellent right now. Nobody can see that coming. Let's say Philly goes to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they lose to Boston. That would be back-to-back instances where the James Harden effect didn't work out. And nobody's going to mention it. And I just think that with the Clippers, I think the Clippers panicked. I think they should have not traded for James Harden. I think that the West is too tough. And I know this is very early in the season, but you still have teams that aren't really healthy that can play at their apex. So you don't want to be fighting in for the play-in. Not in this Western Conference. Let's say Grizzly makes a play with John Morant. You think the Clippers could beat them with John Morant? Not the way this Clippers team is playing.
The Grizzlies aren't nothing special.
They're not, but this Clippers team is just very odd. They just have they have 4 ball dominant dudes. I don't think. And here's the crazy thing, and we're gonna go to college football next. But I was watching. You're right. They could have traded them as insurance for PG, but I get that. And I think the problem is they jumped the gun on that. I think they jumped the gun because they had a chance to start all the way over, and LA is always whether it be the Clippers or the Lakers, they're always gonna have free agent destinations. They could have had massive cap space, and people are gonna come. They're gonna come to the Clippers because they had Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. They had Lob City for a second, so I think people are always gonna come out there. People like Jerry West and the owner. I think Steve Ballmer jumped the gun. I don't think they should have, Earl, but I understand the logic. I get it. But it's just, I don't know, man. You got 4 players that are ball dominant. Maybe you can say Paul George is not, right? But Kawhi is. Kawhi likes the ball in his hand. There's Kawhi Leonard. Toronto Kawhi Leonard. That's true. That's true. They didn't jump the gun. But Kawhi Leonard needs the ball. Toronto Kawhi Leonard had the ball a lot. Westbrook needs the ball, and then James Harden needs the ball. So I'm not gonna panic yet because we all know NBA season starts to pick up at the end of December, beginning of January. Then you'll see who's really good after the All-Star break. So if they're not doing good after the All-Star break, it's done. It's a wash because you can't really limp into the playoffs anymore. But not with that playing. Not with that playing. Craig. Actually just came up. It looks like Chicago might blow it all up.
Chicago Bulls?
Chicago Bulls. It looks like they're gonna blow it up. I think Zach LaVine said he wanted a trade. If they trade Zach LaVine, they might as well trade everybody else.
So, the Bulls haven't been good since Derrick Rose was there, and they went to think they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think.
Yep.
And they lost to the Heat. That's
Yep.
when that was his MVP year. But
Yep.
the Bulls haven't really. I mean, I guess they thought the DeRozan and Levine thing was going to work, but it hasn't really worked. And then they had Ball, and then Ball he's hurt. I don't know when his timetable to come back is. So that whole group right there, which I mean, yeah, maybe if they're fully healthy and they had some more pieces, maybe they could have done something. I had high hopes for them for a while, but at least to get maybe not high hopes, but at least to get like a top 5 seed maybe in the East. This was like a couple years ago when they first probably came together, I think. But just hasn't worked out. So
yeah, that yeah, man. That Bulls team that lost in the was it 2000?
I forgot all about how. I mean,
I'm looking at their roster. Was it 2000? I'm looking at their 2008. Let me see.
That was after that.
Anyway, I think that had Derrick Rose, Luau Deng, Drew Gooden, Ben Gordon, Kirk Hinrich, Larry Hughes. They had Brad Miller. They had a Joakim Noah.
It might have been.
They had a good team.
They had a good. I mean, this Bulls team. Yeah, they probably should just go ahead and just figure something out because it hasn't been working. So I'm not mad at it.
No, it hasn't, and I mean, it hasn't. I'm looking right now. They're saying Alex Caruso to the Nuggets. This is on Bleach Report, guys. This is don't shoot the middleman, okay? I'm just telling you, these are not. These are just because if you trade Zach LaVine, you might as well blow it up. There's no sense. You might as well blow it up. They said Vuacek to the Grizzlies, which makes sense because Adam. Adams is out for the year. So that would make sense if the Grizzlies have a big next to Jaren Jackson. They said DeMar Rosen to the Heat for Kyle Lowry. I mean, that would fit perfectly. We'll give him another shooter.
Kyle Lowry sucks.
And then they said, "This is." I'm just reading this, Greg. This is not. They said Zach LaVine for D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura. So I don't know. Earl said, "Is that a working NFL blitz behind you, Craig?"
Sure is.
I was looking at somebody was playing it the other day on Instagram, but yeah, it'll be it's very interesting, man. It's very interesting how the Bulls gonna blow it up. They should have blew it up last year, but I think they're like, I mean, it's time. It's time. Also, Craig, college football. Jim Harbaugh got suspended the last 3 games of the season for allegedly stealing signs. Do you think the Big Ten got it right? Do you think he should have been suspended?
I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. It's only regular season games, the last 3 regular season games. It's not like this. I mean, and he's still able to coach the team in practice and be there during practice. Only time he can't be there is during Saturdays, the actual game day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, it's not a big deal, but it's just weird how I guess the Big Ten worded everything and basically said that they don't know if the coach knew about any of the sign stealing or whatever it is. So if they don't know that the coach knew, I can understand if they had 100% proof. Then yeah, okay, cool, go ahead. I mean, but you don't really have 100% proof. Then how can you suspend somebody? Now I understand that. So I guess it's two sides of that. So you got that side where if you don't know if the coach did it, but you suspect that he did, but there's really no 100% concrete proof, then you have that side. And the other side is obviously is that he's the coach, so the coach should know everything that's going on. He knows when the students are going to class. He knows when practice starts and all that other stuff. So the coach should know, and it pretty much starts and ends with the coach. So you could say that as well. But at the end of the day, it's only 3 games. He's going to be back for the Big Ten championship if they happen to make it. If they beat Ohio State, he's going to make that game. If they go to the college football playoff, he's going to be in that. So, I mean, if they had suspended him for the college football playoff or the Big Ten championship game, or even if they had just said Michigan is no longer eligible, I would have had a big problem with that part. Michigan is no longer eligible because the kids, I mean, they're students. I mean, they're just trying to win a championship. That's what their dream is, especially for the seniors.
Yeah.
And some of the juniors who might not be back. I mean, this is what they dream for. So to take that opportunity away from them would be disheartening, and especially if they end the season undefeated. I mean, and they deserve to be there. You know what I'm saying? Then that would be a bigger issue. But because I know Stephen A. Smith said basically if they find him to be guilty, then they should take Michigan out of the college football playoff.
Yeah,
I'm not going that far to punish the students for something that the adults did, I guess. But I mean, I guess then I think about it. Even if you wanted to suspend Jim Harbaugh for the Big Ten championship and the college football playoff, if they happen to make it, I'm cool with that. If that's what you wanted to do, I just didn't want to punish the actual kids. But the whole suspension is only 3 games. He's not going to miss much. He's still going to be there. I didn't understand the coach crying on national TV after they beat Penn State. I didn't understand that. I guess he was very emotional, but I didn't get. It's not like Jim Harbaugh got fired. It wasn't like somebody died. I don't know, but it wasn't like Jim Harbaugh died. So I just didn't understand it. It wasn't like he only got 3 games. Like he acting like I don't know. It was just too much for me. That was a little too much. But I'm not mad at the suspension, and I'm not really like. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of like in the middle, I guess, because there's no evidence really for it 100%. But he's the coach, so he has to get some type of punishment.
Yeah.
But here's what it is.
Yeah. So my thoughts is I think it's petty. I think 3 games is petty. Beyond. Oh, this is perfect. Mo is right on time.
Look, decided to show up for the damn party. Come on, man.
Listen, hey, man, what's your mouth, man?
Hey, what's up, Mo? What's going on? Bro, my man.
Side.
Mo. So what we were talking about?
Texas A&M?
No. We were talking about. I'm gonna finish my point about Jim Harbaugh, and then I got you. Let you speak on it. I just thought the 3 games was petty. They didn't have any evidence, but I understand it's the head coach, and the head coach knows everything that's going on. We assume, but I agree with your point, Craig. It's the 3 games, but here's the thing: I know a lot of people like, oh, there's no due process. Well, the Big Ten made the decision, and that's the decision they made. I have nothing, wrong with it. I just think it's petty. And here's the thing. Now that they set this precedent, if another coach, another school in the Big Ten gets caught stealing signs, and we all know this, it's on the NFL level, it's in baseball, it's in college football, it's been like that. People steal signs, people try to read your lip for plays. It's a thing. If people didn't know it, it is a thing. It happens. And Jim Harbaugh's not the only one doing it. Let's just say that. So my thing is just the precedent. So if Ohio State gets called or Maryland gets called, they gotta get suspended 3 games. I just think it's unnecessary and petty. That's just my thoughts, man. I don't understand it. You get the Big Ten can have a Michigan in a national championship. Can you imagine Michigan wins it and the Big Ten could be like, hey, we have a national champion? Like, so I don't know. I get it. I just think it's super petty. Mo, what are your thoughts about Jim Harbaugh, man?
Because of the recruitment situation earlier in the year, I mean, the Big Ten had to do something. I think their members would have been real irritated if nothing was done. And you got to look at the whole totality of the situation. But I do agree it was petty, but you got to look at the whole situation. When you had schools in the Big Ten complaining and all that negative media attention, they had to do something. But here's my thing. For you coming out with a 13-page article or a 13-page report, but you say you have no evidence. Like, that's just crazy. How do you have a 13-page anything and say you don't have no evidence? We all went to school. Like, how do you have a 13-page article and say you have no evidence of your stuff, your findings being true? So basically, you're going off. It sounded like you was going off hearsay. Then my thing is it's not like I was meeting to the wee hours of the night. So for you to make that decision on Friday, knowing that team was already on the plane, you know what I'm saying? These still kids. I understand people saying these young men and you're growing young men, but at the end of the day, these still kids, to be honest with you. Yeah. And you going into one of the biggest games, rivalry game on the road, and you make that decision on Friday night while the coach already there with his kids, that you want to suspend this man, that was just crazy to me. That was probably the worst part of it. You know what I'm saying? If you was going to make that decision, you said the last 2 games and made the playoff game, but to let that man be on the road, already on the bus with his kids, and you make that decision knowing they was already traveling. Come on, you the Big Ten, you know when people travel. So you knew they was already on the road headed to Penn State, and you make that decision then. I just think that was crazy. But you got 13-page article. You got 13-page report, but you made that decision then. That's just, to me, that was the wild part about this, more than anything else.
Yeah, so the Big Ten ain't innocent. Once if this Michigan wins the national championship, the Big Ten gets a nice check. Yeah, the Big Ten's gonna get a nice check. I don't understand why.
It's one, and this one play out to me. Big Ten's going to get somebody in the college football playoff, whether Michigan wins, loses, or it's Ohio State. The Big Ten, unless this week one of them fall, or unless one of them fall in the Big Ten championship game, you're going to get one of them in. That's just the reality.
Yeah.
That's just reality. But I will say, to me, I'm sorry, I get it. Stephen A. Smith was funny as a mug. I know some people had their mixed emotions about Stephen A. Smith, but that thing was funny when he came on there. It was like, man, why the world that coach crying? That thing was funny.
I said the same thing. I didn't understand.
He was like, why that coach crying? Like, Slim, he was wrong. Like, he was wrong. Yeah, the situation was wrong. But I'm like, you're crying. Like, I get it. Emotions or whatever, loving to do, but this is the second time you had a recruiting situation. Now this, I understand the timing was messed up, but for dude crying like it was just a total crime done against Michigan, I was like, oh, he crying. I get it being emotional for the kids, but it just came off as like, oh, how he's crying. It was like, what? Like, what? Come on, man.
He crying.
I get being emotional for the kids, but good Lord, like half your speech is about Harbaugh. It wasn't even about the kids. Like half your speech, like, I love this man. I love that man to death. Like I get it, but yeah, it was not. I ain't gonna say stage.
That was too much.
It was like, wow.
That crying was too much, man. To me.
All right, Mo. Speaking of college football, man, what's your top 4 college football ranking right now?
I know they're doing the rankings a little late tonight. I'm going to definitely be looking while we're on here. Because I think by the time they do the rankings, we'll still be on. They're going to do it at 9 o'clock because they got a doubleheader on ESPN for college. They got Duke playing. Matter of fact, right in the side of my ear, I got Duke. I'm not Duke, but Duke playing Michigan State right now. Yeah. So and then the nightcap, they got Kansas and Kentucky.
Yeah, college basketball has started, guys.
Yeah. So for me right now, I got Georgia number one. I know in the last college football rankings they had Ohio State, but with Georgia, they haven't lost in 3 years. And then a team that had one loss that was ranked top 10 in the college football rankings, they just went out there and thumped them. I think it ended up being like 52-19 or 52-14, something crazy like that. That they beat Ole Miss. Number two for me right now, I'll take the bait and go Ohio State. I think their offense is starting to click at the right time. If they're with how their defense is playing, their offense starts to click. Look out, they can be dangerous. Because you have not only a game changer but a game wrecker in Marvin Harrison Jr. Dude is just legit. He's legit. I think he's gonna be a definite top 5 pick in this draft. I hope he goes to a decent team with a decent quarterback. He's gonna be another Garrett Wilson if he goes to a rough team with no good quarterback situation. But I'll leave that here or there. Because Garrett Wilson's a goon, but it doesn't look like that because of the quarterback situation.
Yeah.
So I hope people don't sit there and say Garrett Wilson a bust as a top 10 pick when you got the sorry quarterback situations you had. So, at number 3, I'll take the bait and go Michigan. I'll take the bait. I'll go Michigan. It is a tough win without your coach. Find out last minute. They're still kids. Emotions are high. You go on the road and just, man, you talk about taking the team spirit. They said something, a stat that is just astounding me. And I watched the game. And even me watching the game, I was like, wow. They ran the ball 32 consecutive times in the game. Didn't pass it. Like 32 times. That's just wild to me. For you to line up and say, you know what? We just gonna give you different formations. We just gonna run this ball down your throat and nothing you can do about it. They ran the ball 32 times straight to win the game.
That's crazy.
That's just crazy.
32 times straight?
Yeah, they ran the ball 32 times straight in the game. So just straight bully balled them. So I think I'll put Michigan there. And at 4, no disrespect to Florida State. I love and I think Florida State is going to make the college football playoff. I think they're going to win out. But I gotta go Washington right now at 4.
Ooh, okay.
I just Michael Penix Jr. Them weapons on offense, that team, their head coach has been linked to that Texas A&M job. They're dead. For right now, for me, they have the better resume overall. I wouldn't be mad either way if Florida State's 4 and they're 5 still. But I just think, man, we got to start giving Washington flowers, man, of what they've done and the amazing job of that program. Shout out to Michael Penix Jr., who's come off of 2 to 3 major injuries and still putting up major stats. I think he's going to be a first-round draft pick. I won't jump out there yet and say top 10, but I think he's going to be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that either. But yeah, that's my top 4. That's my top 4. Definitely be looking out for the show. We got 2 more weeks, and then we have the conference championship games already. It'll be Georgia versus Alabama. Florida State, shout out to Florida State. They're in the championship for the first time since 2014. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely going to be. I know
would it be if Michigan, because the conference championship. Listen, guys, I love college football, but the college championship is after the last game, correct? Or it's a conference week that last.
Yeah, so you got 2 more weeks, and then the conference championships are that first weekend in December.
So if Michigan beats Ohio State, they're basically gonna play each other again.
Nah, they on the same side. Nah, Big Ten has an East and West, and both of them on the East. Okay. So whoever wins that is the division winner and will represent. So you have on that other side, you'll have like an Iowa or Penn State on the East side. It probably be like Iowa. It probably like Iowa or Wisconsin type team on that west side.
Got it. Okay.
So that's why it's so big, because you got them on both. You got them both on that same division, on that same side. So pretty much it's gonna come down to the winner. That's how it's been the last 2 years, where the winner got in. So both times that Michigan beat them over the last 2 years, that got them into the Big Ten championship game.
Oh yeah, so it'll probably be. You're right. It'll probably be Iowa.
So I think I know Michigan has Maryland and Ohio State.
Michigan has Maryland and Ohio State.
Yeah, so I don't know who Ohio State has this week. So pretty much it's setting the stage for that game that will be Thanksgiving weekend, be that Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely be the high. Definitely, we already know game day will be there. It'll be the highlight game. Listen,
Yeah.
never hope this, never want a coach to be fired, but Jimbo Fisher is getting his buyout and set a new precedent. I think they set a record with the coaches that have been fired. The buyout total for coaches altogether is like $100-something million. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I think Texas A&M owes Jimbo Fisher $19 million in the next 30 days. In the next 120 days, they owe him another like $9 million. And then from 2025 on to 2031, they owe him $7 million a season.
Yeah.
For his buyout.
I think it's like 85 million total or something.
Yeah, I think it was like 76, 80, something like that.
Jeez,
so, I mean, but they had to do it. I mean, for like, I was talking to a buddy of mine, a mentor of mine. I said, for the facilities they have and the fact that they let him get a recruiting class, he was there almost 6 seasons. So he got a recruiting class through, and the fact that Texas A&M has one of the top 10 facilities in the country as far as football and stuff like that, and you're not winning, and you're not even like competitive for championships, and you're making that much money. Yeah, they had to make a move. It just was, it just wasn't a good look.
All right, guys. Now it's time for my segment. Is it time to press the panic button or not? And this segment is right now focused on NFL teams where it's time to press the panic button. And I'm going to tell you why. Already, I'm not going to go into like the Patriots. They've been on here every week. Everybody knows what's going to happen with them. But the panic button gets pressed for the Bengals this week. The Bengals are 5-4, and they have a tough schedule coming up. And we said this over and over again. We can no longer, those slow starts in the beginning of the season, you cannot do that. Not in this AFC. It is too competitive. It is too many teams that are trying to win. The Browns are playing great. The Ravens are playing great. And Pittsburgh, you can say what you want, but they keep winning games. And the Bengals just lost to the Texans. Yes, it's trying to panic because they might not make it to the playoffs. Because this is the second or third season Joe Burrow has missed training camp. That cannot happen next season. You can't miss training camp and think that, oh, we're the Bengals. We did it 1 year. You can't do that. You can't. Or you're going to miss the playoffs. It's the bottom line. It's a fact. You can't do it. Another team, it's time to panic or not. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Slightly starting to panic. You can't beat the good teams. And then you have an upcoming Texans in your division that could challenge you for the divisional crown. All of a sudden, at the beginning of the year, they were running away with it. And now the Texans are 1 game back. So, and listen, they play each other soon. So, I don't know, man. They kind of are on that panic button for the Jaguars is getting close to being pressed. But I'm not gonna panic. Not yet. But it's very close. Very close to being panic. The Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love is not the answer, guy. He played well against the Steelers, but he's not the answer. Now, whether or not the Packers are going to stick with him, it depends. Because every draft class has 5 guys that come out that are good, and it's only 2 that actually are really good NFL quarterbacks. After that, that's it. So, do you stick with him another year? Or do you pull the trigger and draft a Michael Penix or Bo Nix? You try again. They might be bust. We don't know yet. We have to wait for it to develop. But right now, it just seems there's a lot of holes on the roster. I don't like their defensive coordinator. I don't think he's good. They got to do some revamping. So, yes, it's time to press the panic button. And I think that might be it. It might be it. Really, panic time for the Bills. Yes. And guess what? Guess what? They lost to the Broncos, and I told y'all on upset week. I called it out. For some reason, I don't think. I think Buffalo's unraveling. Josh Allen, this up and down roller coaster. You can't do that. Not in today's NFL. And you you're the games and the turnovers and the mistakes that you're making, and you're losing to teams like the Jets and the Patriots. The Patriots look like one of the worst teams in the league. It looks like Belichick's tired. He's tired. He's probably going to get new scenery. The Jets, Zach Wilson can't move the ball. Buffalo, you lose to Denver. And now Denver they've won 3. Sean Payton looks like he's settled things down in Denver. Looks like they're not going to draft a quarterback. Looks like Russell Wilson they paid him money. It looks like he's conforming. It looks like he's changing. So I don't know. Then you got Stephon Diggs, his brother, tweeting out, my brother has been balling. Well, he said, since my brother got there, Josh Allen has benefited from it, which I think they both have. But I think it's panic time for Buffalo. Listen, we all know it's a bad sign when the offensive coordinator gets fired. We saw this last year with the Colts. Bam, Frank Wright fires offensive coordinator. The Bills don't have an easy schedule. They don't. If this continues to unravel, guess what, guys? Sean McDermott is going to be fired. Now, I'm not saying the Buffalo Bills, window is closed. And I have my thoughts on Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is a good quarterback. I just think he, needs to make better decisions in the moment, not try to be a superhero, and listen to his coach. But I do think that Buffalo, they need to retool a head coach. 12 men on the field is just non-excusable. And that's nobody but the head coach. The personnel coming in and out, come on, man. So, I think it's panic time for the Bills. Also, guys, before we get to Craig's top 5, let me tell you this. Remember at the beginning of the season, they said it was 6 new playoff teams? Right now, in the AFC, the Chiefs are first, the Ravens are second, the Jags are third, the Dolphins are fourth. The 3 new playoff teams are the Steelers, the Browns, and the Texans. On the NFC side, it's the Lions and the Saints. That's 5. That's 5 new teams, man. That's 5 new teams. So, and that's just now. We don't know what could happen so far, but it's just very interesting. That's why we love the NFL. That's why we love the NFL.
Hey, before Craig go, I got in this discussion today, and I'll stamp this and say this 10 toes down. If Texas win that division or get the 9 or 10 wins, it's no way DeMeco Ryans gonna get coach of the year, man. It would just be a tragedy.
I think he gets coach of the year already. I think it's already locked up.
That's fair, man. Yeah.
I think it's locked up already.
Yeah. And then
I think it's locked up.
This Stroud definitely getting rookie of the year. That award, they might as well go ahead and hand that award to him right now.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year, nobody else really pushing him. There's nobody else, no rookie wise, putting up the numbers to even compete with him.
Yeah. All right, Craig. Your top 5. So I know it's not the power rankings. I think that was last week. I think that's week 13.
Yeah. So, one of my friends, I guess, he was saying we were having a discussion about LeBron James and where he ranks and where he fits in, I guess, as the if he's in the top 5 or top 10 Lakers of all time. So I have my list of top 5 greatest Lakers of all time, just because he tried to argue me up and down. So
this one.
Shout out Magic, man. I do. I feel for the Bills. Yeah,
I don't.
So this is top 5. Top 5 Lakers of all time.
Number 5. I got
okay.
I got the logo Jerry West.
Number 5.
Yeah, number 5. Jerry West spent 14 seasons with the Lakers. He was a 14-time All-Star.
Got it.
Made it as a rookie. He obviously is the logo of the NBA. He's the only player in NBA history to win the NBA Finals MVP and be on the losing team. Now, some other people could have won that, like Bron could have won it, but they didn't give it to him. They gave it to Iggy.
2015?
Huh?
2015?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He is a 10-time first team All NBA. And at one point, I mean, he was I don't know if you consider him a point guard or a shooting guard. I guess he was a combo guard, but he was, if you want to consider him a 2 guard, he was the best 2 guard ever play up until Michael Jordan came along. He's one of the best point guards if you want to consider him a point guard. Either way, he's one of the best guards of all time. And I think he gets overlooked a lot in terms of being one of the best players. And he doesn't really I don't really hear his name get mentioned too often.
Yeah.
In terms of the best players to ever play the game. And I definitely think he's even though he has 1 chip and he's 1-8 in the finals. I mean, what he did for the Lakers to put him on the map for the most part, not put him on the map, but be that quintessential player for that team. I can't overlook what he did. So I got to put him at number 5. Number 4, I got Shaq.
Okay.
Shaq spent 8 seasons with the Lakers. He would have been he was a 7-time All-Star. He would have been 8, but they had that one season where it was a shortened season, and they only played 50 some odd games. So Shaq didn't. Of course, they didn't have an All-Star game at that time. So, but he would have made it. I would assume. 2-time All-Star MVP.
Yeah.
Been to the finals 4 times. Won three championships. 3-time Finals MVP. He won an MVP in there in 2000.
Yep. Should have been unanimous, but go ahead.
Yeah, he averaged. I had this stat, man. I think I messed it up. I think he had like somewhere around 35 points and maybe like 15 rebounds in his 3 championship seasons with the Lakers. So, I mean, he's definitely the most dominant big man of this era, post Wilt. He was just an unguardable force in the paint. I mean, he didn't really have no Kareem type moves or no Hakeem Olajuwon type moves or nothing like that. But he was just he'll back you down and he'll just spin on you and dunk on you, or he'll back you down, hit you that little jump hook that he had. But in his prime, Shaq was just, I mean, he was just different. He was just different.
He's a beast.
So yeah, I got it right here: 35 points and 15 rebounds in 3 finals. And with the Lakers, he averaged 27 points and 12 rebounds. So, 3rd on the list, I got Kareem Olajuwon. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Hakeem mixed up.
I was like, man, what?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I forgot how long he was with the Lakers. He spent 14 seasons with the Lakers, 13-time All-Star, 5 championships.
Yep.
6-time first team. He averaged 22 points, 10 rebounds as a Laker, a 3-time MVP, a 1-time Finals MVP, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, first team. The skyhook was his quintessential unstoppable move. It's probably the most unstoppable move in the NBA, like in NBA history.
Yeah.
Between that and maybe like the fadeaway or something like Jordan or Kobe. But I mean, he was just a beast. At the time he retired, he was the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. He leads the Lakers. He's the all-time leading rebounder in Lakers history. So I believe it's all-time leading blocks as well, but I could be wrong.
Probably.
I'm not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he spent 14 years there. He was a beast. I think he is all-time leader in blocks. I mean, Kareem was just a monster. Number 2 might surprise some people, but I got Kobe. Kobe's one of my favorite players, my second most favorite player of all time behind Mike. But he spent 20 seasons with the Lakers, 18-time All-Star, 4-time All-Star MVP. The MVP award, the All-Star MVP award is named after Kobe now. 5 championships, 11-time first team, all NBA, 9-time first team, all defense, which I think is tied for first with Mike.
Tied for first.
2-time Finals MVP. He also won an MVP. He's all-time leading Lakers leader in points, steals, threes, free throws, games played, minutes played. It's really nothing that he didn't do. 25 points, 5 boards, about 5 assists, give or take. He's definitely one of my favorite players to watch. After Kobe retired, in 2016, I kind of started to take NBA and just put it on the back burner. I just really didn't care about it as much.
Yeah.
But last couple of years, I kind of started to pick back up with it. But and I got Kobe all around this place. I got his jerseys up and posters all over the place. So
you see him in the back.
Yeah, man, he's definitely one of my favorite players of all time. And number 1, I'm going Magic Johnson. 13 seasons, 12-time All-Star. He doesn't have all the accolades, I guess, that Kobe has for the most part. Didn't spend enough seasons. Didn't have the all All-Star appearances. 9-time first team, all NBA. He only averaged 19 points and only averaged 19 points, but he also averaged 11 assists to go along with seven rebounds a game. The Western Conference Championship trophy for the MVP, whoever wins comes out of the West, is named after Magic. So they gave it to Jokic last year.
Yep.
Game 6 in the finals in his rookie season, came in, played center when Kareem was hurt. Had 42 and 15 to go along with 7 assists. I think I said 5 championships. He has that.
Yep.
So I think he won 4 MVPs, finals MVPs. So that's my top 5, man. I had some other people in there, but I couldn't put him above any of those guys, including LeBron. I don't think LeBron has been there long enough for me to put him in my top 5 at all. He might be. I got him in my top 10, but it's so far down. It doesn't even.
You got to do some more work.
He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna win another championship. So I can't really put him above any of those other 9 people that I have above him. So, but he's.
I think he's gonna get one more. That's just because I'm a Lakers fan. But you're right. He hasn't put enough time in.
Yeah, he just hasn't been there long enough.
Yeah.
So.
It's LA, man.
Hey,
legends. It's legends.
All you guys are
all those players you said are
top 75 players of all time, and jerseys hung in the arena.
Those top 4 players that you said are in a lot of people's top 10 of all time.
Yeah, I got 4 of those in my top 10 of all time.
Yeah. So it's a lot. Lakers. It's a lot of history.
It definitely is. So I'm going to argue that one, but hopefully I don't have to deal with that anymore because I'm not dealing with LeBron in my top 5. And I'm not a Lakers fan, but I'm just not. I couldn't do it.
Nah, he's got to put some time in. I'm a Lakers fan. I love LeBron, but he got to put a little bit more time.
Yeah,
this is LA. You know what I'm saying? You got to put more time. All right, guys. This is a new segment. This is must win. So, out of all these games, we're just gonna say, "Oh man, I don't know why I put that on." Okay, yeah, we're not gonna pick the winner. We're just gonna say, "Why is this a must win for this team, and why?" And that's it. Chargers versus the Packers. I'll start it off. This is a must win for the Chargers. Simple. You're playing the Packers. You're playing them at home. I mean, you're playing them on the road. Your home games be road games anyway. You're 4-5. You just lost a close game to the Lions. It went down to the wire. So this is why it's a must win for the Chargers. Craig, Packers, Chargers versus Packers.
I'm just gonna go Chargers just because I think they have a better chance of making the playoffs than the Packers do.
Yeah.
So I think they need to win this game just because it'll give them a better chance of trying to make the playoffs. The Packers, if they win this game, they'll be 4-6. They're not. I don't think they're anywhere near close. So I got to go Chargers, especially after, like you said, how they lost that game last week. Yeah, I got to go Chargers.
All right, Mo, Chargers versus Packers. Just pick one.
Chargers.
Yeah.
Chargers. It gotta be Chargers. You just gotta if you look at it, they put an investment into that team. They paid. Herbert got paid. 3 players on their defense got paid. I think they got 3 players on their defense making top 5 at their position.
Yeah.
Between Matt, Bosa, and the safety. James. James got paid.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta win. I just don't see their coach being there no matter what happens in the season. Unless he go on some magical runs and win the Super Bowl, I do not see him being there next year. I honestly see him being a Black Monday type move, but that's anyway.
All right. Craig, Titans versus Jags.
Titans versus I'm gonna go Jaguars, but I don't think it's necessarily a must win. But I think next week more so will be a must win for them because they play the Texans. But I will say that
who you got.
I will say that since they lost last week at home, coming off of a bye against another team who came off of a bye, but they also came off of a 3-game losing streak. How they played in that game and how they just got smacked around, and now they try to get back on track against an inferior opponent, starting a rookie quarterback. I think this is a perfect opportunity, and you don't want to fall into that trap game because this could be might be. I'm not saying they're going to overlook this team, but they might be looking ahead to Houston, the team that they got blown out by at home, and this game is going to be on the road in Houston coming up. But I definitely would say Jacksonville because they have the higher. They have the higher probability of making the playoffs. The Titans are going absolutely nowhere. So, got to be the Jags.
Mo, Titans versus Jags. Must win for the Jags?
Yes. Because if I'm not mistaken, Houston beat them already this year.
Yep.
Then the first time Houston beat them. So, they already have the tiebreaker. And if I'm thinking it right, if Jacksonville loses that game, then that next week, that would be for first place. If because Houston has Arizona.
Yeah.
So that would mean now they swept you. That means you get swept. Yeah, I just think you want to build some momentum going into that game. I don't know what's going on with Jacksonville. I don't know if that was just you ran into a buzzsaw, pissed off San Fran team who was getting all their players back. But I mean, I hope they can get in Tennessee. I can't say it's a must win for them because you put Will Levis in there for the rest of the season. If I'm not mistaken, I think the last game Tannehill was the third quarterback. I don't even think he was the backup. Yeah. So you already basically letting us know where you stand with everything. You try to build for the future. So I can't say it's must win when you starting a rookie. When you decide a rookie, you're gonna go with a rookie week 11. I just don't see that being your must win game for them. So I'm definitely gonna say Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Jacksonville's must win. Plain and simple, divisional game. Titans, rookie quarterback. He's coming off a loss. San Francisco. These are the easy wins. Get him. And Trevor Lawrence is, I don't know, Ali playing not as good as I thought. Mo, this is the easy one. Jets versus Bills.
Bills. Let's go ahead and cut the head off here. It's Bills. You got the brother of your star receiver Tweety. Talking about get him out of there. Come on, get him out of Buffalo. You just fired your OC, basically putting it on him. They've now labeled Josh Allen the Brett Favre of this generation.
I heard
It's funny, but it's true. If you look at how he's playing right now,
that.
it's a fair comparison. Like I laughed at when I first seen him say it. Oh, I think it was first take or get up. I was dying laughing. I was like, because think about it. He'll give you the 5 touchdowns, but he gonna give you 2 picks. He gonna give you 4 touchdowns, but he give you 2. He'll give you some picks. You be like, why? Why did you throw that ball? So I'm gonna say Bills. Because if you look at the rest of their schedule, it's brutal. They still have Kansas City, Philly, Chargers, and Dallas. So that's four of their remaining games are playoff caliber. And still got to play Chargers, who will be battling. So they gotta win this one. If they lose this one, it definitely is bad. It is bad.
Gray, you did the Jets versus Bills.
I mean, it's the Bills. Pretty much everything Mo said, but I mean, like the Jets. I mean, plus the Bills already lost to the Jets first game of the season. The Jets, I didn't. I mean, after they lost Aaron Rodgers, I didn't think they were going to be a playoff team. I thought they just were. They just got some lucky wins, I think, or some wins that they like the Steelers, like somehow just lucked up to some wins. And right now, it's starting to come back on them a little bit. So after everything that happened yesterday with the Broncos game, and then the 12 men on the field thing where they could have won the game, that right there is just really unacceptable. Josh Allen's a turnover machine. He was already a turnover machine before Diggs got there, but he looks even worse now. Maybe there is something to Brian Daboll being there, being the OC, but I mean, he was turning the ball over when he was there, but he just doesn't. He looks like he's just going backwards at this point. So the Jets really aren't going anywhere, but the Bills have an opportunity to, especially with all this talent. You're just going to waste it. I know they have injuries on defense, but it's got to be the Bills right now.
Yeah, I gotta go to Bills, man. I think it's just because they're coming off a bad loss to Denver, and once I said in the panic, man, they're hitting the panic button. Nothing's good when you start having scapegoats in the middle of the year, and then now, like Mo said, when Stephon Diggs was angry in the offseason and the last game, and it took time at training camp, now all this is coming back again. Even though Stephon hasn't said nothing. He hasn't had no blow-ups or anything, but your brother tweeting that, and now we know how the media is. They're going to bring up all that back. It's fair. Like, well, it's got to be a must win for the Bills. And this last one, I did put it on here. Must win for San Francisco or the Buccaneers. I'm gonna go. This is a must win for the Bucs. Not saying they're gonna win, but they have a position and a chance right now to be in the playoff hunt. I mean, San Francisco is control of their division, but I think this is a must win for the Bucs because you're 4-5 right now. If you want to get to the playoffs, you gotta beat San Francisco. Now, listen, guys, I'm not saying they're gonna beat San Francisco. I would pick San Francisco if this is on who you got to win. I'm just saying it's a must win for the Buccaneers. Craig, Buccaneers versus San Francisco.
I don't think it's a must win. Well, you know what? I'm going San Francisco. The main reason is because I think they need to separate themselves from the Seahawks, who have an open game this week. They still have to play the Seahawks twice, so still kind of hold their own destiny, or they hold their own fate and whatever it is in their hands. Yeah. But at the same time, you don't want it to fall too far away from the Eagles. There's the Lions out there. I mean, those are two of the teams that you could be, at this point, you could be the third seed. Right now, they actually are the third seed. So That means no home field in the second round. If they play the Lions, no home field. Then the conference finals or the conference finals, the NFC Championship game. If they get there, they could play the Eagles possibly. So at this point, you need to start trying to win some games. I think a lot of people kind of feels, I guess, how they dominated last week against the Jaguars on the road, that the 49ers are back. But, I mean, if you don't have that same type of mentality coming into a game that you should win at home, and now you end up being 6-4, losing to a Bucs team, that's not a good look. So I think they need to win this game just so that way they can keep that momentum going and try to keep that distance between them and keep that gap, like shorten the gap or stay within that gap of the Eagles and the Lions.
Yeah. Mo, Bucs versus 49ers.
So I'm gonna go. It's 49ers. And the reason I'm gonna say it is because everything's still out there for them. Home field is still out there for them. They got Philly in 2 weeks, and Philly has Kansas City Monday night. Then they're gonna face a desperate Bills team after that. So depending on how these next 2 weeks roll, regardless of it, that's gonna be a pivotal game come December 3rd. So I just think San Fran can't afford to take a cheap loss. No disrespect to the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
but you can't afford to take no loss like that when everything's still ahead of you. So I think they need to win this one. I don't know who they have the following week, but then in 2 weeks they'll have
Seattle.
It's Seattle at Philly, home against Seattle.
See what's right there ahead of them. Like everything's right ahead of you. You can't lose this game. Like you can't lose. You can't lose this game. Like you can't. It just be disappointing. Like wow. Like not to say they are going to lose it, but it's just really you can't lose this game. Like you got to go into it with that mentality. Like no, we can't. We're not going to let this team even think they got chances. We got to come out guns blazing.
Dang, like, you're right.
But
because they got Seattle. See, they have Seattle Eagles in Seattle again,
and then the Cardinals.
But the one thing that I did say though is, and I will argue. We'll talk about this later. I just want to throw this off kicks and giggles. We can talk about this later on. I heard, and I don't know if y'all agree with this. Stephen A. Smith and them said something. They said there's no defense in the NFC that would scare a fully healthy San Francisco offense.
I don't think so either.
NFC?
Yeah, in the NFC. They ain't say the whole NFL. They said in the NFC there's no if they're fully healthy.
Yeah,
if they're fully healthy, they was like defense in the NFC that would like scare San Fran as far as weapons across the board.
I think they might be right. Because in the AFC, that's where all the top defenses are. The Ravens,
right.
The Browns, the Chiefs.
Right. So in the NFC, I mean they said it. Because one thing they said we can't say Philly because they said Sam Howell put up almost 400 yards, put up over 400 yards passing on them. So we can't say Eagles defense because they're secondary. And Dallas, Dallas
can't say Dallas defense either because they punished Dallas defense already.
Right.
They put 42 on the Dallas.
Dallas also doesn't have Diggs in the backfield. In the secondary either anymore.
Yeah.
And Detroit's defense, it's better, but
not with the
Ravens put up a bunch of points on them, and then the Chargers put up a bunch of points on them, even though they won that last game. But and even Seattle put up a bunch of points on them that they lost.
Yeah, I think they're all right, man.
Any defense in the NFC that's like
because the Cowboys are third, but the Cowboys any team that they play that doesn't have a good record, they dominate. And San Francisco already exploited Dallas.
I think maybe one of the Saints have a really good defense, but sometimes they just get exploited, like they did against Minnesota.
Carolina has a good defense, but they're gonna be
their offense is horrible.
This might be gone regardless, but
I think they might be right, Mo.
If he don't win the division, he definitely gone. But I think he might be gone regardless.
Who?
Dennis Allen.
You said who?
Dennis Allen, coach from New Orleans. If he don't win the division, I think he out there.
Probably because that division is they were the best team in that division. So I think if they don't win,
if they don't win the division, I think he's out of there. If he wins the division, I think they'll give him an extra year to see where he grows off of it. But if they don't win the division, I don't see him coming back.
I
I
wouldn't.
see them cutting ties.
Yeah, because they talking about Atlanta's talking about for now they're sticking with Arthur Smith. He's
They're 4-6.
Yeah, he's not using his weapons. I don't understand the weapons you have in that division. I don't understand.
crazy.
I don't understand why B.J. Robinson not getting at least 15 to 20 touches a game. I just don't understand.
Crazy.
Don't get it. You don't throw no balls to your tight end.
I thought he was even on the team, honestly.
It was crazy.
Like I'm on my fantasy. Every week I'm disappointed. Every week I be like, well, wow. Like when is he gonna get the ball? Like,
I don't know. Bijan's not getting the ball.
yeah, I got Bijan on my fantasy. I got Drake London on one of my fantasy drafts, and Drake London don't even get the ball. I'm like, come on, Slim. You don't use none of his weapons.
That's crazy. All right, guys. So this has been going pretty good for all of us, man. So let's pick. This is called Crazy Upset Alert.
Oh,
So, Mo, I'm gonna start off with you. Pick one crazy upset.
Good luck, Mo.
Hold on, come. I'm looking. Hold on.
I did good last week. We've been doing good.
Yeah.
One of us hit every week. Or two of us. We do. It's pretty cool.
Dang, I'm looking. Oh, this is crazy hit. They called the upset. Lord have mercy. Listen, I know some people won't see this as the upset, but because they won 4 or 5 straight, I still call it an upset because just the momentum they've been riding with. I'm gonna go Denver over Minnesota.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Denver over Minnesota. I like what Denver is doing. They finally they look like they got formula. They gonna run the ball. They know Russell. Russell just not that dude no more. He's that dude as far as he's gonna be steady, but Russell ain't that dude that's gonna go 25 or 30 for 330 no more. He's not that. Like, we just know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get steady. As long as he ain't turn the ball over with crazy turnovers, you got a shot. That's elite defense. They can run the ball, and then they got somebody who can get it to the playmakers when you need to. So I'm gonna go with Broncos over the Vikings, who won 5 straight. They started 0-3 and now they 6-4.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go Broncos over the Vikings.
Craig, upset alert. Who you got? What's your crazy one?
And I don't know if it's a crazy one, but I was gonna go Cardinals.
That's
ahead, but I think I'm gonna just go with the Packers. Just because the Packers are so bad and nobody's expecting this team to win. The Chargers aren't that great either. I mean, their coach is really holding them back, but also their defense is holding them back as well. The Chargers are 3.5 point favorites. Packers at home. They played the Steelers tough last week. Love, like he always does, is going to throw a pick. It seems like every week now. He had 2 touchdowns, though, but he had that pick. And I think I'm going to just go with the Packers here to pull up the upset. I think they're not going anywhere, but I think they're going to make sure the Chargers don't go anywhere either. So I'm going Green Bay.
Oh man, that was my. I agree with you. I think the Packers beat the Chargers. That was one of my picks. I was leaning Cardinals, but it's in Houston. I don't see CJ Stroud having a bad game against that Cardinals. The Cardinals is Craig. I'm not gonna lie. Kyle Murray's back. Kyle Murray loves Texas. He loves those stadiums. Ooh. You know what? Sometimes you just gotta jump out there, Craig. I'm going Cardinals over Texas. I think you were on to something. I think you should stuck with it, man. Because I was thinking about the same thing. But I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna do it. I ain't gonna jump out there. I'm gonna pick the Packers beating the Chargers. I think the Chargers just don't have a good team. I think their defense sucks. Their head coach sucks. And it's in Green Bay. This would be a game that we would like, oh, this is the Jordan Love that we were missing. He's gonna throw for like 3 touchdowns. Watch. He'll throw for 3 touchdowns against the Chargers. And the Chargers and them will have the same record. And then the rumblings start to pick up. Is Brandon Staley going to still be the head coach? I think he'll be the head coach. I don't think they're going to fire him mid-season. I think we've already seen that. But the rumblers are going to get more and more because I kind of agree with you. I think the Packers. All right, guys.
Hey, man, I just seen something so funny right quick.
What?
So on Facebook, they have like a little, it pops on my phone, like Die Hard on Facebook, Die Hard, whatever fans. And so a Die Hard is I guess it's a chat or something like that. It said Die Hard Chicago fan. And it put the top 8 of the NFL draft, like a little mock draft.
Yeah.
And they said that the Bears would pick Marvin Harrison number 1. And then at number 5, they would pick the corner from Alabama, no quarterback. But they had the Giants at 2 getting Caleb Williams.
Jeez.
So if that would happen, my question to y'all right quick, offline, would be, what does Daniel Jones go for? Because you're not going to keep Daniel Jones there and draft Caleb Williams.
Well.
Or would you just cut him? Would you just straight up cut him? Or no, you gave him a second right, so you can't straight up cut him.
The way Daniel Jones' contract is set up, he tore his ACL, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that because I don't know if you pass on Caleb Williams. But Daniel Jones' contract, they have a potential out.
Because they get the number 2 pick, and
the
Bears don't get Caleb at 1. Do you pass on him? Do you not run that card up?
Giants are gonna get Caleb. I mean, if they don't, then.
But why would the Bears not get? So my thing is, if the Bears at 1 get Marvin, that's them thinking like, okay, Marvin with DJ and a healthy Fields, we could do something. Even though that is a nasty combination. A healthy Fields with Marvin and DJ, that's a scary combination.
I mean, the Giants would draft Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing with Daniel Jones, Mo. The owners love him, so I don't know how loyal they are to him.
Right.
I don't know. And after 2024, he's only a $22 million dead cap hit. So they have a potential out in 2025.
I mean, you gotta see the rest of the season play out, but if they got the number 2 pick, that's gonna be interesting. Depending on what the Bears do, that's gonna be interesting.
Man, Caleb Williams in New York. Woo.
Yeah. I think he can handle that market. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of pressure, but
I think he could handle it. I wouldn't like it.
But my thing would be he would have no weapons. Like they definitely had to figure out a way to bring some weapons around him, because what he has right now, I mean Saquon, but I mean what he has around him right now is like what? Like,
I mean, or they could trade out, ask for a king's ransom for Caleb. And then it'd be funny if Chicago trades right back up and draft him and Marvin Harrison. Anyway, what do you think about that, Craig?
I mean, if Caleb Williams is there, and
they're probably gonna draft him,
I probably would take. I mean, I definitely would take him because I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I never have. So, it's gonna be hard. I mean, because but even if you draft Caleb Williams and you don't put nothing around him, no offensive line, no wide receivers, or you don't, I guess, bring in somebody else that could be beneficial to him. Granted, you still have Saquon. I get that. Well, he's not even on a contract. He's so who knows what's going to happen with him. But if you bring Saquon back, you have Saquon, you have Caleb. That's not going to be enough. You need some wide receivers. They drafted Hyatt last year from out of Tennessee. I forgot he was even drafted on the team. They haven't used him. They just don't seem to be able to bring in wide receivers and make them mesh well with this team. Like they brought in Galladay years ago. That didn't work. They drafted Tony. That didn't work. They have Shepard and Slayton on the team, they don't seem to work. I mean, they either always injured or they just, I mean, they don't put up numbers, like big time numbers. They went out and got Darren Waller. That didn't work. Well, it wasn't working. Then he got hurt. But I mean, he wasn't playing up like he was playing years ago. So I mean, even if you draft Caleb, he's going to be kind of maybe in the same situation. But I mean, he's a better athlete, but maybe he's going to be in the same situation because he doesn't have any help.
Yeah.
You got to figure something out. It's New York, so it should be an easy time to want to bring free agents there. Now, maybe if they draft Caleb, that'll help. Some people might want to play with him. I don't know, or try to help him and bring him along with some veteran wide receiver. But
yeah,
I know Daniel Jones ain't the answer. I knew that.
Yeah, it's tough. Right now, Mo, NFL.com posted this. The Bears have the number one. If it was this week, the Bears have the number one pick. The Cardinals have the number 2 pick. They're probably going to win some more games with Kyler, so that's going to go down. Giants are probably going to have the number 2 pick.
Are they showcasing Kyler or
Yeah,
they just trying to see what they got to trade him? Or you think they're showcasing Kyler like
they said so reports said they don't want to trade him. They said they're not going to trade him. That's why.
Would you have brought Kyler back right now, coming off the injury and play him like this?
If the Cardinals have like the 3rd or 2nd pick, they're gonna get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's what I'm saying.
Especially if you plan on keeping Kyler, I would trade up. I would King's ransom and try to get Marvin Harrison.
Well, if the Bears say we're drafting Marvin Harrison first and not Caleb, Arizona's going to trade out.
Yeah.
That pick's going to cost a lot of money. They can reload everything. Because I don't know. I like Kyler. It's hard trusting a rookie quarterback, and then you got to think the Patriots at number 4.
You got Drake May, you got Penix, you got
Drake May, Penix, Bo Nix. Bo Nix is going to be drafted.
Yeah, I see Bo Nix is the 1st round pick.
Probably, man.
Because of need. I'm not. Do you feel like he's the 1st round quarterback? Let me ask the better question.
No, but for need, yes.
I got you.
I think the 3 1st round quarterbacks are Penix, May, and Caleb. That's just me. But I think
Caleb. It's clear. Caleb the clear cut. There's no competition. No competition. He can go ahead. I don't care about no combine or whatever.
Yep. And Drake May
is a clear cut. It's a clear cut.
And Drake May is right behind him. Drake May is if Drake May is your 2nd consolation prize, it's a good one. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Michael Penix. So we're gonna see how it all. We're gonna see how it is because right now Denver has the 12th pick. It looks like they don't need a quarterback. Commanders have the 10th pick. We probably need.
Jalen Williams got 2 more games in his career. He ain't playing the bowl game. Let's just go ahead and be honest here. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get the cat out of the room.
Atlanta.
He's not gonna play in the bowl game. I don't see it. Especially with it not being a major bowl game, he's gonna play his last 2 games. You know what I'm saying for stats and in his career, and he's not gonna play a bowl game.
Atlanta pick could go up. They got the 9th pick. The Rams. I don't think the Rams are gonna draft a quarterback though. They probably just keep reloading. Tennessee has got the 7th pick. Green Bay got the 6th pick. It's gonna be very interesting. We're gonna see, but I don't think that's gonna happen. All right, let's go for the segment. Who you got? All right, my favorite segment of this show because it breaks down games of the NFL week. Boom! Wait till I get this soundboard. You don't even wait. So right now, this is going to be a good one. I'm gonna start off with Craig. Bengals versus Ravens. Who you got? This is a good one. Got some good games.
So, Coach Coach, I'm going Harbaugh. I think that the start that Cincinnati has got off to hasn't done the team any favors. Baltimore, you can look at their. I mean, I think they lost 3 games by a combined 12 points. So
Yeah.
they've been in pretty much every game. Some injuries there. I mean, that's to be expected in the NFL. So you got to wait. You got to overcome some of these injuries, and I think the Ravens for the most part have done that. So I'm going with Harbaugh. Offense. I'm going with Cincinnati. I think even though Lamar is on that side and he's so dynamic with the ball, he can make things happen with his arm or his legs. Their running game hasn't really been the same. I think they might have found something with that kid Mitchell. They still have Gus Edwards, but I mean, none of those guys are, I guess, who they expected to be in that backfield when the season started. Because I know they probably expected Dobbins to be there and to be healthy, and he's hurt again.
Yeah.
The wide receivers are okay, I guess. Bateman still hasn't ascended. Flowers was there for a while. He's about to take off, but he's kind of been brought back down to earth. Andrews is still Andrews. He's still really good, and they have OBJ, but OBJ is, I mean, he might catch like 1 or 2 catches a game or something like that. On the other side, you obviously have Chase Boyd, who I know is feeling sick after you dropped that touchdown pass last week. Higgins, don't know if he's coming back this week or not. Hopefully, he'll be back this week. So it's going to be a short week, even though he didn't play last week. So
that was weird. Hamstring practice was weird.
So I'm not sure if he's going to play, but I am rocking with the Bengals offense. Overall, it's just better to me. Defense, picking the Ravens, even though their defense was horrible last week, especially in the second half against the Browns. Overall, though, I think the Ravens have like a top 10 defense. So the Bengals defense really doesn't really scare me at all. It doesn't really do anything. I just think that the Ravens defense is clear-cut better. I think both teams are coming off 2 bad losses. I think the Ravens lost a bad division game at home, especially having that lead, and it just squandered. It just blew it. I don't know what happened. Like the defense stopped playing. Lamar just started turning the ball over, even though one was a batted ball. But like it just they had some bad breaks there. The Bengals kind of the same thing. Like they just missed some opportunities. That, like I said, Tyler Boyd had a wide open touchdown. Normally short-handed, he dropped it. I get it. There was no T. Higgins, but this is a game at home. You should win against an ascending Houston Texans team.
Yeah.
So, man, this is a tough one, man, because this is it's 2 teams who made the playoffs last year. Both teams need a win because both teams coming off a big loss. It's in Baltimore. You know what? I'm going Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to bounce a little bit better. I think the Bengals have an opportunity, definitely, because you saw what happened last week with the Browns. But I just think the Ravens know this moment is I mean, they're one of the better teams in the NFL, so they have to go out and prove it against a really good team. So give me the Ravens. Let me go 24-21.
All right, Mo. Bengals versus Ravens. Who you got?
Coach, I'm gonna go Harbaugh. I just think the overall body of work, if we're going off just this year, overall body of work, and in this year, the job he's done has been tremendous. He's to fire the offense coordinator to the defense coordinator you bring in from college, you bring in a college offense coordinator, they're doing a great job. Offense, I'm gonna go to Bengals. Just fully healthy. You go with Burrow. I mean, you go with Burrow, Mixon, Chase Boyd, Higgins, I think fully healthy, Hurts at tight end. I think fully healthy, that offense just better. Defensively, I'm gonna go to Ravens. I know they messed up. I know it looked bad. The I watched that game. The Browns just totally dominated them in that fourth quarter. I've never seen the Ravens get just physically dominated like that. It was just wild to see. It goes both ways. It's wild because one, I would say Cincinnati needs is because then that'll be Baltimore sweeping them for tiebreaker purposes. Then it'd be for Baltimore if you lose this game, that's 2 straight home losses in the division. For the Bengals, you look at it like you need this period. Yeah. Because you lose this, now you got the Bengals loss. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they lost to the Browns. I'm like,
Bengals
lost a bad division now.
Yeah.
You have no tiebreakers. You lose this game, you got no division tiebreakers. I think I heard something or saw something where I think if they lose this game, they'd be like 1-5 in the AFC, and then like 0-3 or 1-3 in the division. So
yeah, I think they'll be 0-3 in the division.
Yeah, that's tough. But for Baltimore, you got stress coming up. That's incredible. Baltimore has stress coming up where I'm looking. They got a test coming up where it's like Miami. They got Miami and like a whole bunch of teams. So listen, I'm gonna say in a close game, I'm gonna go with Baltimore in a very tight game. I think Lamar maybe wins it at the end and proves that he's worth the contract. I'm gonna go Baltimore 24-20.
Okay. Mo, so in the division, they have lost to the Browns and the Ravens. This is crazy. I forgot. They lost to the Titans 27-3.
Yeah.
And they just lost to the Texans. So that would be
they won 4 in the AFC. I think they
won like they're 1-4. They're 1-4 in the AFC. Yeah. That Titans loss is that's gonna bite them, man. That should have been one of those early easy wins.
Mm-hmm.
And we wouldn't. I don't want to say we wouldn't be talking about them, but they would be 6-3 versus 5-4. That's a big difference. Anyway, coaching, I got Jim Harbaugh with the Ravens. I think that Harbaugh is just, he's done phenomenal, man. They're 7-3. They're balling. I picked them to represent against I picked them to go to the AFC Championship game. It looks like they're on their way, then they don't because they give up a lot of fourth quarter. But because of the head coaching, I think I got it. He'll clean that up. Offense with I gotta go the Bengals offense. They with Joe Burrow has been back since the bye week. Has been healthy. Has been playing phenomenal. The Tyler Boyd catch, he did throw some interceptions, but they still got Joe Mixon. They still have one of the best receivers in Jamar Chase. So I got to give it the offense to the Bengals, even though the Ravens offense are playing good. I'm not saying that. I just think that the Bengals offense is just a little bit more dynamic and polished. Defense, I got to go Ravens. The Ravens defense has just been playing phenomenal this year. And I know people are like, well, what did they gave all these points to the Browns. It's a divisional game. Divisional games are very difficult, guys. The teams know you well. You give up big. They're either really close or they're high scoring. Those are two. The Bengals. I'm sorry. The Browns and the Ravens have two of the best defenses in the NFL. They're both top 5, and they both scored 30 points. This is just. It is what it is. So I'll give the Ravens the nod here in defense. The problem is, guys, and I said this earlier, the Bengals should have not started out slow. That 27-3 Titans loss is going to bite them. And I don't see the Ravens losing back-to-back games at home. And I think Lamar Jackson has the Bengals number. So I think the Ravens win. And at this point in time, we'll be talking about the Bengals looking forward to the draft because they'll be at home on the couch because they have a tough schedule. Guys, they lose to the Ravens, which I think they will, right? I think they lose to the Ravens 27-20. And after the Ravens, they have the Steelers, which is not a. Let's say they win the Steelers. Then they have the Jaguars. Let's say they beat the Jaguars. Then they have the Colts. But those three games aren't easy wins. Then they have the Vikings, not an easy win. Then they have the Chiefs. Then they have the Steelers. Then they have the Browns. I don't know. I don't know. They would have to go on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They could go on a 5-game winning streak, but then you gotta if they lose this week, they go on a 5-game winning streak. They have to beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, and then they have to beat the Browns. I don't know, guys. All right, Mo, Steelers versus Browns. Who you got?
Steelers versus Browns. Coaching, I'm gonna go Mike Tomlin. I've been listening to First Take, Get Up, and I agreed before they said this, but listen, let me say this: the Coach of the Year conversation, the toughest race in history would be if the Steelers make the playoffs and the Texans win 10 games. I get it. And I know people be like, Mo, it's easy, D'Amico Ryans, but how bad this offense is, Lord have mercy. If Mike Tomlin makes the playoffs with that type of offense, I don't know. It would be the closest race in history for me. I couldn't be mad either way. When you make that decision. Yeah. So I'm gonna go Mike Tomlin. Offense, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go push, but I know we try to get away from push, but okay. I'm gonna go Cleveland. I'm just gonna go Cleveland. I'm gonna go Cleveland with the offense. In the crunch time, I'm gonna go with more Deshaun Watson than Kenny Pickett. Just off of, hey, it's your time. Like, you gotta make the money. Like, you made the money, you got paid. What you gonna do with it? Defense. Ooh, Lord, that might be the push. The defense might be the push. But I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. Defense, I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. I CJ Watt and the other DN, they something different. Oh boy. This game. This is a tough game. It's a tough game only because both offenses are tough to watch at times. Mm-hmm. You know what? I truly believe Deshaun Watson gonna make more plays than Kenny Pickett. I'm gonna go Cleveland 21-17 at the end in a close game. I'm gonna go 21-17. I'm gonna go Cleveland.
All right, Craig, Steelers versus Browns. Who you got?
Coach, I'm going Tomlin. The 6-3, which I didn't expect. They have been outgained in all 9 games, and they've won 6 of them, which is, that's crazy to me. Excuse me. And I get what Stefanski has done, especially how the team has started to turn it around, and then they had the injuries at quarterback with Deshaun for a while. They lost Chubb early on, out for the season. Deshaun's back. He's starting to pick it up and play a little bit better, play a lot better, actually, than he has pretty much any time with this season or last season. Big road win for them last week in the division. Mm-hmm. And, I just think Pittsburgh is just, at this point, like I think somebody said it on First Take or Get Up or something like that. Like you just need to rename the Coach of the Year award to the Mike Tomlin Award at this point because he's never had a losing season. He's 3 wins away from not having another losing season.
Yeah.
Now, next couple of games for them are going to be tough. They got the Browns and I think they got the Bengals back to back. So that's 2 tough division games. But I think they can get. I mean, after that they got some easy ones in there. Cardinals, Patriots, not the Colts, maybe not easy, but winnable games. Cardinals, Patriots, and Colts. That's 3 wins. That's all you need. But just speaking for this game, I think the job that he's done so far this season has just exceeded my expectations. After a certain point, I did change my pick from the Jets to the Browns. But I never considered the Steelers at all. Mm-hmm. Offense, I gotta go with the Browns. Even though I mean their offense isn't anything spectacular, but they have the better quarterback. I don't trust Kenny Pickett at all, even though the team somehow finds ways to win. The running back, I do like Ford, and I do like Kareem Hunt. Even though Najee Harris and Warren, he's not bad. That 2 combination right there isn't bad either. Harris just kind of started out really, really slow out the gate. He's kind of started to pick it up a little bit better. I think they need to get him involved in the passing game. Another thing, speaking of the passing game, Pickens, I don't know where it happened to him. They just wrote him out of the offense. It seemed like he's non-existent. Deontay Johnson was non-existent last week. Somehow I think he only had like 1 catch. That somehow they still found a way to beat. Well, they played the Packers, but they still found a way to beat the Packers. But man, their offense is just really, very stale. So I got to go with Cleveland. Defense, I'm going with Cleveland again. I think their defense they have one of the best defenses in the league, even though last week they gave up a lot of points to the Ravens. Sometimes, and a couple weeks ago they gave up a lot of points to the Colts. So you know what? I'm changing it. I'm changing to the Steelers. Just because the last couple of weeks, the Steelers defense has started to pick it up. I mean, at one point after that Texans loss and they got blown out, then now ever since that point, they won 4 out of 5. And their defense, I think the most points they've given up has only been 19 points, which was the game last week to the Packers. So their defense is starting to turn it around. Their defense is starting to pick it back up. They look really, really focused and look like they're trying to make a run. And they got to also pick up the slack for what the offense is lacking, especially at quarterback. So, and that's what the team has been known for anyways, is defense over the years. So I'm going with the Steelers defense there. This game is on the road. They got back-to-back road games after having 3 straight at home, I think. So another tough division game. They already beat the Ravens before. They beat the Browns earlier in Pittsburgh. So now this is a little bit of get back. I'm going with the Browns. I don't even know if this is even. I just don't believe in that offense for Pittsburgh. So I'm going the Browns 27-13.
All right, guys. I'm gonna be a little different. Craig. Steelers don't have an easy schedule. They got Cleveland and Cincinnati. Yeah, and Arizona, which is not easy. Then you got New England. Indianapolis is risky. They should win. And they got Cincinnati, Seattle, and Baltimore. Tough 3 games stretch to finish the season. But for some reason, Lamar has trouble beating them. That'll be a very interesting game. So coaching, I'm gonna surprise everybody here, but I'm thinking Ken Stefanski. I think he's just done a better job this year. Deshaun Watson has been gone for months. You got PJ Walker, your starting quarterback, and you still have a winning record. I mean, that's coaching, man. That's coaching, and we'll see. You know, Pittsburgh they should win 3 games. But yeah, I got coaching, and I like Mike Tomlin, but that offense is horrible. I don't know about Kenny Pickett. Seems like a reach now. Seems like they could have waited to draft him. I don't know. Um, but that 2022 quarterback class is something different. So, well, actually, they said Sam Howell looks like the best quarterback out of that class. Very interesting. I'm coming around on him in a little bit, but anyway, offense, I'm going Browns. Even if they had PJ Walker and not Deshaun Watson, I just think the Steelers' offense is terrible, yo. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Matt Canada's the offensive coordinator. I don't know what decisions they're making, but they got to make some decisions and choices because they got to win some games. And the the Bengals, we just talked about the Bengals losing. Man, you don't want to play a Bengals losing back to back. You don't. Not if you're Pittsburgh. They got to get that offense going. And the Browns offense just, what I'm saying, Deshaun Watson ended up playing phenomenal late, bringing his team back, playing through injury. He hurt his ankle, and he played through it. Everybody's hurt at this time of year. It just depends if you can play through it or not. There's a difference between being injured and hurt. If you're hurt, if you're playing, you're hurt. Um, so I gotta go with offense Browns. Defense, I gotta go Browns too. Miles Garrett is playing a phenomenal year, man. I think that whole defense is good. They have the best defense in the league. Nothing. I mean, I know and understand y'all pick Pittsburgh, and I understand that, but their defense is horrible this year. Their defense is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 26 in the NFL. Not good. They're giving almost 400 yards a game. And they're giving up about 20 points. That might be the low end, but that's not good when you start playing Cincinnati and you play the Ravens again. And you playing Seahawks. It's just not Pittsburgh, right? It's one thing if their offense is playing phenomenal, but they're not. I just think that they have been playing good teams, and now that the schedule's heating up, I think they're going to be exposed a little bit for who they are. And that means it's nothing against Tomlin, but I just don't think Kenny Pickett's the guy. And they'll find out the hard way. Hopefully they can keep beating the teams they're supposed to beat in the playoffs, but not this week. They're going to lose to the Browns pretty bad. And they're going to lose 20-3. Not a shutout, but almost. Almost. All right, Craig. Oh, guess we could do this. This might be easy, though. I don't even know why I put this on here. Let me look at something real quick. Because it's going to be I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. The Raiders versus the Dolphins, Mo. Who you got?
All right, Raiders versus Dolphins. Coach.
It's probably gonna be a quick one.
Yeah. I don't sound funny, but Coach, I'm gonna go Pierce. I get what everybody would say, wow, but for the situation he's thrown into, 2-0. I know the two teams they probably beat wasn't ideal, but it's like the situation he's thrown into. You know what I'm saying? He was thrown into a rough situation again, and just like the coach from a couple of years ago was thrown into, not maybe as bad because it was a lot of emails, a lot of other stuff going on with that. Yeah. But I'm gonna go Adam. I'm gonna go Pierce. Deep offense. Yeah, I can't go Raiders. I can't go Raiders. That offense is terrible. That offense is just terrible. I can't go with that. It's quarterback play. You would think, but to be honest with you, you would think with the players they got that it wouldn't be as bad because you got you got who you have, but it's bad. You wouldn't think it would be as bad, but it is bad. Defense. So offense, of course, I'm going to go Dolphins. Defense. Defense. I'm gonna go Dolphins. I just think Chubb. I hope they're gonna turn on. I'm gonna go Chubb. You got Howard. They brought in Howard, Xavier Howard. Their defense overall, I'm gonna go with Dolphins. This game right here, if you the Dolphins, you gotta smell blood. You know that Buffalo is struggling. You have to go blood right here. You have to figure out how to win. I'm gonna go Dolphins. Man. I don't want to say a blowout because the Rays been competitive, but I'm gonna go Dolphins by double figures. I'm gonna go Dolphins 31-14.
Craig, this is probably gonna be pretty quick for you. Raiders versus Dolphins. Who you got?
Yeah, I got the Dolphins all the way across.
That's what
give me the Dolphins 34-14.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This was Raiders are 5-5. The who you got are getting kind of low. A lot of 4 and 5, 6. We'll start to get after next week. We'll start to see a definitive. But I'm with Craig. All offense, Miami. They got the Cheetah, Waddle, Tua. Dolphins have Aiden O'Connell. Head coach, I like Pierce, but Mike McDaniel, pretty proven. He went to the playoffs last year. He's coming off a bye, and they're at home. Gotta give head coach. Defense, Miami's defense is way better than the Raiders. Once again, it's just where they are. Now, is Antonio Pierce going to get a full year? Maybe, maybe not. But I got the Dolphins across the board. This is easy. I got Miami in a blowout fashion, 35-10. That's what they do, man. They blow out terrible team. All right, I'm gonna start off with this one. Actually, a Monday night football game that I'm excited about. And I'm excited about the Sunday night game too. The Vikings and the Broncos might be a pretty good game. And I'm excited for the Thursday night game. So good job, NFL. Good job. I know you're listening. So that's good. All right. We got the Ravens, Bengals, Vikings, Broncos, Chiefs, and Eagles. Who you got?
Two.
This is going to be game of the week. Some people call it the Kelsey Bowl. This is the rematch of the Super Bowl. You have two great head coaches, two great teams. Head coach, I'm going to go Andy Reid. I think giving him a bye week, he's going to fix the offensive struggles. That's what he does. They clearly missed the enemy. That's a thing. That's a real thing. Everybody thought he just held a clipboard. No. They have to get their receiving core together. The Holmes needs to get on the same page. They need to execute better. They're going to run the ball probably more. But I got to give the head coaching nod to Andy Reid. Offense. I'm not going to lie, man. I got to give it to the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is playing good this year. He's in a MVP conversation. I think he could play better, clean up his turnovers. He's got some more interceptions and fumbles than usually this year. But then you have Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift, who I didn't know this, grew up in Philly. And the way he's playing right now, he deserves a contract. So, maybe Detroit wasn't his thing, but Philadelphia is. Philly got offense, one of the best lines, and A.J. Brown is all-pro receiver. So this is going to be good. I can't pick the Chiefs' offense because they don't have a receiver. They have Mahomes, who's the best quarterback in the NFL. They have Kelsey, who's the best tight end in the NFL. But I think you need more, and I like Pachenko. So yeah, it's. I mean, but I just gotta go Philly for the offense. I just gotta go defense. I gotta go Chiefs. The Chiefs have surprisingly been balling this year on defense, and the crazy thing is that excuse me. The crazy thing is in the NFL. Usually the Chiefs have the best offense and their defense isn't good. This year their defense has been winning them games. They've been winning the defense, the Chiefs defense in the Mahomes era is that's gonna be scary for the postseason. Um but yeah, so I gotta go to Chiefs defense. Chris Jones, they're just balling, man. And let's not the Eagles defense isn't bad. They just give up. It's always a shootout with them, and then you don't want to be ever in a shootout with Patrick Mahomes. Um, and that's why I'm picking the Chiefs to win. Andy Reid coming off a bye. Um, they beat the Dolphins barely, where their offense was doing good in the first half, and then it stalled in the second half, and the defense won the game. I think that, which is shout out, they stopped Tyreek Hill, which is crazy. So I just think that this Chiefs team is one of the best teams in the NFL. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to figure it out. If the Eagles' defense were like the Browns or San Francisco, I would lean more towards Philly because I can feel like their defense has the ability to stop Mahomes, but they don't. They don't. You got Sam Howell throwing for almost 400 yards against them. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs in a nice phenomenal Monday night game that I cannot wait for. And I got the Chiefs winning 35-31. Craig, Eagles versus Chiefs, who you got?
So, um, it's really close between the coaches because on one side you got Sirianni, who has two new coordinators,
Mhm.
and on the other side you have Andy Reid, who has basically, well, he hasn't. I guess they don't even have an offensive coordinator. I think he's calling the plays more so. More,
Nagy.
huh?
I think Matt Nagy.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he's okay.
He's an offensive coordinator.
I guess
We know Andy Reid calls and plays, but
right. Yeah,
Nagy.
he's just a figurehead, I think, at this point. But I mean, they don't have a lot of the skill position players that are accustomed to being, I guess, with this team for the most part. So it's kind of a toss up, but I think I'm going to go with Andy Reid just because it's a tougher. He's in a tougher conference, and his team around him that they got, especially on offense, isn't the same type of talent that he's had in years past. Sirianni's obviously team has the best record in the league, and he's done a phenomenal job. But I gotta go with Andy Reid. Offense, I'm going with the Eagles. The Chiefs have the better quarterback, obviously. Like you said, the best quarterback in the NFL, and they had the best tight end. But that's pretty much it. That's where it stops. Pacheco, I don't think he gets the ball enough. Either you're gonna, you could just get him the ball in space and get him a couple of short passes.
Yeah,
he's able to catch and run with the ball. They have what's the other guy named the other running back that can catch passes out of the backfield
for Kansas City.
Yeah,
McKinnon, Jarek McKinnon.
Yeah, Jared McKinnon. So he's able to. That's what he's known for, anyways, to catch passes out the backfield.
Yep.
And make something happen there. But the other wide receivers, they can't get any separation. They can't catch. Kadarius Toney is still a no-show, even though he's on a new team, and a lot of people thought he was going to be able to take that. I guess, be able to take the number one spot that was vacant and still is vacant, in my opinion, and just be that number one wide receiver. And he hasn't done that. Really, nobody has done that on that team. If you take away Travis Kelce and just double team him or take him out of the game, kind of sort of how the Dolphins did, even though they ended up losing that game. I mean, you have a better chance of winning. You focus all your efforts on that guy and just make other wide receivers beat you. That's all you gotta do. It's just like NBA. You focus on LeBron, make his other teammates when he was on Cleveland, try to make them beat you. It's gonna be harder for them to beat you. But I mean, I don't know, man. But the Eagles definitely have so many weapons. I don't know if Goddard is going to be out or if he's going to be healthy to play in this game. I know he's coming off the bye week, so he gets the extra little bit of rest as well. Same thing with the Chiefs; they come off the bye week as well. But yeah, I'm going Eagles offense. Defense, I'm going to Chiefs. Chiefs defense. I mean, this is the first time that I can think of that Patrick Mahomes had like a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
So
I think it is the first time.
And it comes at the expense of his offense. Now his offense is not great. The only reason why the offense is still somewhat relevant is because of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that Chiefs defense, I didn't see it. I didn't see him being this good. And on the flip side, I thought the Eagles defense, who, I mean, they're still good, but their secondary is just not. I mean, they give up so many passing yards twice. I think you mentioned it twice to Sam Howell, like over 300 yards. They also allow over 30 points in both of those games.
Yep.
Like, I mean, that Eagles defense is just not the same defense. I don't know if that has anything to do with the D coordinator not being there anymore or some other combination of stuff. But I mean, that team just does not look the same on defense. Like, they're just not. They don't get after the quarterback. It seems like enough. That pretty much, other than the front four, the back seven is just. I don't even know, man. It just doesn't look the same to me.
I don't understand it either, Craig.
It's crazy how you go from last year with this pretty much the same personnel. You add a couple more pieces, I guess. You draft the kid from out of Georgia, and you still end up kind of even worse. Yeah. So, for this game, finally we have something to watch or something to cheer about, be excited for, because last week's was the Chargers, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago was the Chargers and the Jets. Last night was the Broncos and the Bills. I mean,
that was
it wasn't bad, but on paper,
that was better than the Jets versus Chargers.
I mean, I just wasn't excited about it.
Yeah,
like it's. I mean, I get it, man. You want to put. I mean, you kind of foreshadowing some of these matchups. Like, I guess they thought the Broncos was going to be better. The Jets are supposed to have Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
So the Chargers have that great offense.
Yep, you're right.
So I mean, I get it, but at the same time, man, some of these matchups just like the Bears or whoever, the Raiders. I don't want to see that. But this matchup, Super Bowl matchup, a Super Bowl rematch. Both teams coming off of a bye. Andy Reid's really good after a bye. He's going against his former team again. I think it should be a good game. I'm hoping for a really good game, but I think the Chiefs are going to find a way to win this game at home. 27-26.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be good. Mo, Eagles versus Chiefs, who you got?
Coaching. This tough, but the reason I'm gonna go Sirianni, the reason I'm gonna go with the Eagles coach is because your record and you lost both coordinators. A lot of coaches struggle the following year when you lose both coordinators. I see you lose one, but it lost both coordinators. I know it doesn't look the same, but it still be one with one loss at this stage of the game. When you lost both your coordinators, is amazing to me. Offense, I'm gonna go Eagles. And the difference maker is not the quarterback. Normally, when we make these picks, we look at the quarterback, but the difference maker is the receiver. Brown and Smith. I think they make the difference. I think
Yeah.
if Kansas City still had Tyreek Hill, I would pick the Eagles. I would pick I would pick Kansas City offense. But the fact that you don't have really legit receivers and they're able to provide you with a AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, I'm gonna go Eagles.
Yeah.
Defense, I'm gonna go Kansas City. They've done an amazing job. Defensively, they play very well. They're playing elite defense. I think if they had an offense like they had a couple years ago with Tyreek Hill and they had this type of defense, oh man, they'd be blowing people out. It'd be just crazy.
Yeah.
This game right here, I just think is one of those games where I love Mahomes. I think Mahomes is a generational talent, one of the top, probably the best quarterback in the league right now. But
yeah.
This is the game where it gets exposed that you don't have receivers. They don't have the receivers to expose Eagles in the secondary like that. So I'm gonna go. It's still gonna be tight because I respect Kansas City, but I'm gonna go with Eagles 27-20.
Man. All right, it's gonna be a good one. Finally, some good games to look forward to, man. I really can't wait. So, all right, guys, thank y'all for joining us once again. We might be back next week. We'll let everybody know it's Thanksgiving week, so we'll see. If it is, it will be definitely a special time and date for that. So, all right, guys, we will see y'all. We are out. Peace.